A gun owner racks the slide and trusts a piece of steel and polymer with their life, and that trust has to be earned, round by round, at the range, not assumed from a glossy advertisement. 5 handguns shattered that trust, and this countdown ranks them from a contained recall to a legal crisis still unfolding today. In the fifth place, the Kimber R7 Mako stands out as a case where a manufacturer acted swiftly to address a narrowly contained defect. Launched in early 2022 for the concealed carry market, the R7 Mako was introduced as a micro-compact 9mm, drawing early comparisons to the Sig P365 and Springfield Hellcat. Initial reviews praised its trigger and compact profile, but within weeks, Kimber issued a recall for pistols shipped between January 10th and February 14th. The issue involved a firing pin safety block that could allow more than one round to fire with a single trigger pull. While the defect carried the risk of serious injury, Kimber reported no actual injuries, immediately covered prepaid shipping, and managed all repairs at no cost to owners. The recall window lasted just 6 weeks, making this the most limited recall on the list. Kimber's history includes other voluntary recalls, such as the Solo Thumb Safety and the 84M bolt-action rifle, suggesting a pattern of public-facing, prompt action when safety issues arise. Number 4. The Smith & Wesson M&P Shield EZ was developed for shooters who needed an easier slide and lighter recoil, making it especially popular among first-time buyers and older gun owners. In November 2020, Smith & Wesson issued a recall for both 9mm and 380 models, produced between March and October of that year. The company discovered 2 pistols with cracked hammers from a specific supplier batch, an issue that could prevent the hammer from engaging the sear, potentially causing the gun to fire as the slide closed, or to release more than one round per trigger pull. Even with only 2 confirmed cases, Smith & Wesson took a broad and public approach. A dedicated serial number lookup website, prepaid shipping for affected guns, and most inspections completed within 10 business days. The recall was rapid and visible, reflecting a direct response to a safety risk in a widely marketed defensive handgun. Number 3. The Remington R51 stands as a turning point where a high-profile product launch unraveled in public view. Remington revived John Pedersen's 1918 Model 51, unveiling the R51 at the 2014 SHOT Show as a modern compact 9mm aimed at the concealed carry market. Early press samples drew attention for their low-bore axis and soft recoil, and anticipation ran high among reviewers and buyers alike. That optimism faded quickly once retail guns reached consumers. Reports surfaced of failure to feed, failure to extract, and sights working loose during firing. More concerning, some pistols were documented firing before the action was fully closed, a serious safety risk tied to the hesitation-locked action. Within 5 months of release, Remington issued a full recall, pulling every R51 from the market and offering replacements, magazines, and a case to affected owners. By the time a redesigned Gen 2 model appeared in 2016, the market had moved on to alternatives like the Glock 43 and Smith & Wesson Shield, leaving the R51's reputation permanently damaged by its initial, highly visible failures. Number 2, the Taurus Millennium Series reveals how a single defect can ripple across borders and courtrooms, turning a popular handgun line into a global liability crisis. Taurus, a Brazilian manufacturer, sold models like the PT-111, PT-140, and PT-745 in massive numbers throughout the United States, making the Millennium Series one of the most widely owned compact pistols of its era. But reports soon emerged that these pistols could fire when dropped from a normal height, and even with the manual safety fully engaged. The most publicized case involved an Iowa sheriff's deputy whose holstered PT-140 discharged after hitting the pavement during a foot chase, despite the safety being on. By 2015, Taurus agreed to a $30 million class action settlement covering nearly 1 million pistols sold in the United States and offering owners either repair or cash compensation. The legal fallout was not limited to the United States. In Brazil, the São Paulo State Military Police recalled 98,000 Taurus 24/7 pistols after confirming the same type of unintended discharge. Court filings documented serious injuries and at least one child's death during a magazine loading accident, deepening the sense of crisis. Even as lawsuits and recalls mounted, Taurus continued to sell millions of pistols worldwide. The scale of the settlement, the cross-border recalls, and the ongoing injury claims set the Millennium series apart as a case where consumer trust was lost on a massive scale. And finally, in first place, the Sig Sauer P320 stands as the most far-reaching and unresolved trust crisis among modern handguns. In 2017, the U.S. Army selected a variant of the P320 as its new M17 and M18 service sidearm, lending the platform immediate credibility. Yet that same year, the Dallas Police Department conducted a drop test and captured a P320 firing when it struck the ground, without anyone touching the trigger. Sig Sauer responded not with a formal recall, but with a voluntary upgrade program offering to retrofit pistols with a revised striker assembly. Despite this, reports of unintentional discharges continued to surface, many involving holstered guns, duty weapons, or pistols being cleaned. In November 2024, a Philadelphia jury awarded $11 million to an Army veteran whose holstered P320 fired and struck his leg, finding the design defective and the company negligent. By 2026, more than 100 lawsuits were pending nationwide, with separate civil trials in Georgia and Pennsylvania also finding the P320 defective. In October 2025, the New Jersey Attorney General filed suit seeking a statewide recall, citing the death of a police detective whose P320 discharged during cleaning. Federal agencies, including ICE, removed the pistol from service, and law enforcement trainers documented more than 80 injuries linked to unintentional discharges. Through years of litigation, repeated agency action, and continued owner reports, Sig Sauer has never issued a formal recall. The P320's saga reveals how the combination of military adoption, persistent safety allegations, and a manufacturer's refusal to recall can erode trust on a national scale. Across all 5 cases, one fact stands out. When reliability fails and trust is broken, accountability becomes the true test. In firearms, consumer safety is non-negotiable. Subscribe for more investigative rankings.